listen. Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Can't get enough baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being I'd rather be talking to right now than friend of the program, family member of Baseball's and Boring, Evan Phillips. How are you?
Doing great.
Good.
Really
awesome. Good. Yeah. We've been watching you from afar, and you're doing very well. Tell me right now, as we sit here, how life is. I don't ask this about but for you, it's when I remember the first time we talked, you were we were talking about being a closer. That was halfway through last year. Obviously, the season didn't end up like you wanted, but the evolution of the team and the evolution of you, I feel like we should take a breath and say, how are you? How's everything going?
It's been good, and I think regular season statistics didn't really add up to what I would hope they'd look like at the end of the year. But I kind of saw those struggles in the middle parts of the season in some ways as a positive, because I knew it was going to be helpful for me to chip away at becoming this version of myself when it matters most in the postseason. Definitely would have loved to pitch better here and there and help the team win in some spots earlier on in the year, but I definitely feel like it's more important to contribute at the kind of level I am now in the postseason and be reliable now. So I feel like those struggles here and there really made me bulletproof for this time of year, and hopefully we keep it rolling.
Cliche question.
Sure.
Turning point.
Okay.
Turning point for you.
Turning point, really right there around the All-Star break. We had kind of tiptoed around a couple of nagging, not really injuries, just things that my body was fighting, things I was going through. We had kind of shied away from doing certain things in the training room, weight room, mechanically on the mound. Things had changed a little bit. So instead of just shying away from all those things, we decided to attack it head on and say, hey, let's get all these things back in order. Let's get my mentality back in order and re-identify myself on the mound and really find the identity I had when things were going right. And we did those things, and I still had a couple of appearances that didn't go my way, but I definitely felt like that was just baseball happening to me. There's going to be ups and downs on the mound here and there. Definitely feel like me getting those things in line and getting myself physically and mentally back in the right places helped me build this version back up again.
Who were you? So who did you find out that you were? Who were you like?
I think I was, trying to impersonate this. I wanted to pick up the slack in the bullpen. I wanted to do more. I was trying to, I was pressing to get every extra out, and I was pressing to make pitches. And
blame us because we were talking about closer music so much.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But I think the team was just going through a tough stretch, So I wanted to be, a relying piece in the bullpen, and it just wasn't working out that way. So I just kept on adding more pressure to myself to fix it faster. And when I actually took a step back and gave myself some runway to get things back in line, it's really when I saw myself start to build back up again. And I put together, a good month of August. I had, a tough game in September, but it was one of those where baseball things happened. A walk here, a blue pit here, and then a double. These things are going to happen. But being aware of that and knowing how to prepare each and every day physically and mentally is really what got myself back to this point.
The reality is that, it's just like anything. It's the final thing. It's the final taste in your mouth. And it's hard in baseball, it's hard because it's such a long season. We like to get excited over April and May and June. But, boy, it's a lot more exciting to think back and standing on a mound and being dominant in October.
Yeah.
And so when you got to October, when you got to that series, did you feel okay? I'm ready to present the best version of myself.
I never had a moment where I told myself, okay, it's time to go. I think that was part of me chipping away and building bits and pieces at a time throughout the late parts of the year, understanding that I want to be the best version of myself right now. I want to be as healthy as I can be, to the point where I can be relied upon as often as possible here in the postseason. And I've been able to put together a good stretch of outings so far in the postseason, but the mentality doesn't change. I still need to come in and prepare the same way that I had been preparing, continuing to try to get better in certain areas each and every day, And a lot of the focus now in the postseason shifts to what do I need to do to get my body and my brain ready to pitch. Because the workload's different, the environment's different. The workload just changes a little bit. It's a bit more exhausting because every pitch feels like a pressure pitch. It's exciting,
Yeah.
It carries a different weight.
Oh, it does. I mean, this is one of the great things was why I think people love watching postseason more than anything.
Yeah.
Because every single pitch, every single place the catcher is setting up, every single tug on the hat or whatever it is. I mean, you can feel that as a player too.
I've learned to harness it, and I think I've learned to harness it, throughout the course of my career here with the Dodgers, where my role has grown and changed here and there to, low leverage innings where it's, games out of hand, or high leverage situations where maintaining that mentality of one pitch at a time and keeping the execution at the forefront is what makes me better here in the postseason. And so maintaining that during these postseason games is huge.
So I've been talking to guys today. I talked to Brazier about it. I've talked to Ottavino across the way about it, about the idea of these bullpen games, which obviously in this postseason we've seen more of them than ever. And I think that it's like anything. The truth lies somewhere in the middle, and they're good sometimes and not so good. But from your perspective, because I have not been a major league relief pitcher, from your perspective, how does that feel? How does it feel when you go into a game like that it's a bullpen game?
I think we've done a great job as a group preparing for those. We've had them sporadically throughout the season where we're trying to give a starter an extra days of rest heading into an off day where the bullpen can get that full day of rest as well. So sometimes it's just strategically smart, to have a bullpen game. And here in the postseason, our guys, we're just ready to be relied on for whatever.
From minute one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everybody's chomping at the bit to get in there. I think that's the excitement of the postseason, and even, all things, normal. Like Jack gave us 7 strong innings the other day. We had guys moving around, getting ready to go in the 4th, 5th inning just because that's the weight of the postseason.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Jack was able to carry that, all the way through 7 innings. But we're ready to go, the minute we sense a situation may change and we need to come in and get ready to go.
And like I said, the bullpen, the vibes are, normally you can go out there and you're probably, you're going to pitch 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever it is. But you go out there, everybody's stretching, limbering up, doing plyometrics.
Well, sure, and communication for us is key because especially if we know it's a bullpen game, our staff does a great job of trying to line us up in the most advantageous spots of the lineup, score, inning, whatever the situation may be. We communicate that as best as possible. So guys have a general idea of when you're going to come in and throw. It's not always perfect, and I think that's where you see guys making sure their body's going to be ready to go in case it's something that they're not expecting.
What is what has the postseason been like? What does this team feel like right now? I love the vibes question.
Yeah.
The suck vibes.
No, I think it's been really good because throughout this entire season, I think we had the most wins in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Obviously won the division, but we've had our stretches where we've been up against it, going through injuries, lulls in performance, up and down the roster. Mm-hmm. So I think those kind of hardships and those individual battles each guy has faced has really brought us closer. So I think now, especially in the postseason and leading into the postseason, you kind of lean on each other a bit more. You want to, be supportive, overly supportive, and whatever we can do to keep that chemistry up, and really help each individual guy chip away at getting wins in the postseason.
And another thing is, I talked to Brage about the bullpens. I love the idea. Bullpens are a weird place anyway. They are. I mean, when they were just in Philly bullpen is nuts.
Yeah.
You're basically here's a shoebox and everyone gather around and yell.
Caged animals.
Caged animal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. And so for you guys, the Padres, I don't know, that the intensity of that rivalry and everything, and being out in the bullpen for that is different, right?
A little bit, it's really not too much different than when we play majority of other major league teams throughout the season.
What's the most intense bullpen? What's the bullpen you're like, I really got to wear earmuffs for this one?
I don't know. For me, I'm able to block it out.
Are you? Good for you.
Yeah, because every bullpen's like that. And there's always somebody chirping somewhere.
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit more consistent, you could say, like Boston, Philadelphia,
Toronto
New York.
now. Toronto's
Toronto,
Aren't they
they're
there?
they're right beside you.
Yeah.
I guess Canadians are friendly because they
Yeah.
didn't say much to me. I don't know. But
That's why they can do it.
yeah, I mean, even like bullpen, like our Dodger Stadium home bullpen, like we're still getting comments thrown at us like, hey, what do you get somebody up, get somebody in there, and it's hey, it's not my call,
Yeah.
That's just life of a bullpen pitcher, If you can't handle a little bit of adversity while you're warming up, you're probably not ready to go for the game either.
It's I remember Tampa. Tampa was another one.
Yeah.
You didn't have to deal with it because you were on the home side, but Tampa was they had tasers behind the bullpen.
Well, I remember as a visitor when I was there with Baltimore. I mean, they're 2 feet behind you.
Yeah.
They could they could tap you on the shoulder if you want.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we never had to deal with that too often. Baltimore, we weren't super competitive at the time, more of like a rebuilding development stage. So I just definitely remember it feeling weird. Like how is this allowed that somebody can just like reach out and grab me if they wanted
to?
Though. And there's only so much security you can have in one place, right? Like,
well, like I said, they used to have tasers. Like they used to give. This is for like 1 year they had tasers, and that was a bad idea to give the security guys because they were pretty liberal with the tasers.
I can imagine.
So this last thing is like as we sit here with the postseason, this is. We had Giolito on earlier this week, and I said, we're talking about postseason. He's just like, the postseason's just fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like almost like talking. He's like, postseason's just fucking awesome.
It is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, can you explain it to? And this is one of the things that I said if I was running a team, I would bring my young players, even my minor leaguers, to a postseason game.
Yeah, it's good for them, and I think at some point throughout a professional baseball player's career, you're going through the minor leagues, and winning somewhat takes a back seat. Takes a back seat to development, your own trajectory, where you're trying to go as a player. So I think the best way, to describe the postseason atmosphere, it's almost like playing your high school state championship game on repeat. It's like the most pure form of baseball because all anybody's trying to do is win. No one's worried about boosting their stats. No one cares what their average is. They're just worried about getting a hit in the moment or making a pitch in that moment. And like I said earlier, the weight of it is so huge that the emotion just flows. It's really awesome.
It's hard to you just explained it really, really well, but it's hard to explain. But you just did a pretty good job.
Well, that's something I've tried to preach to high school kids that I talk to, college kids that I talk to, because nowadays everybody's worried about what college they're going to, if they're going to play professional baseball, and I think a bit of a lost art is the fundamental of winning the game, like being competitive and like supporting your team and doing whatever it takes to help the team win. Because that's what it all rounds back to right now. Like, this is what it's about. It's about winning the championship.
Yeah, because the reality too is even the minor leagues. I've talked to guys about this. You want to win. You want to win the minor league championship. But let's be honest. A lot of it's AAU. I mean, a lot of it is
for sure
because you have to be good individually in order to make the next step. It's just the way it is.
For sure, it's hard on the managers, coaching staff, because you got to play your top 5 prospects no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's definitely unique in that sense, but it's really cool to see some of our, players have been grinding in different ways throughout the season, just to get their swing back or find their slider again, whatever their individual struggle may have been. Now it's just about results. Let's just put together a win.
All right, we're ending on 2 random questions. One is, are you a Black Friday shopping guy?
Not really. I'm not much of a shopper in general. My wife is more so, I guess, like Cyber Monday, because all she does is online shop. That's why there's 20 packages at my front door every day. It's nonsense. She will order online like 1 pair of shoes in 2 or 3 different sizes, try them all on, figure out which one fits, and then make the return. But meanwhile, like, the bank doesn't understand the return right away. Like, it takes time to get all that money back. So it's a wild concept, but yeah, she's the shopper, and gosh, I hope she gets some sales.
It was so much simpler when you went to the mall at midnight.
Yeah, for sure. I've done it a couple times back in like my high school days.
It's
got to get like the Xbox 360 on discount,
Exactly, and your parents stay up worrying about you. And the other thing is decorating next level for Christmas.
Christmas, absolutely. Halloween, not a chance.
Really?
I'm just not into Halloween, not one bit.
Okay.
Not one bit. I don't get it. I don't like costumes. I don't like, mascots even. Like I don't want to call it irrational because, it's a little creepy when there's an adult in a costume, messing around with me at Chuck E. Cheese or whatever. I didn't like it. It still freaks me out a little bit because they don't want to talk to you. And I'm a grown man. I'm trying to have another conversation with a grown man.
So the mascots at baseball games now?
Nah, I mean, I don't want to start something, but typically not a fan. But let's get back. Christmas, absolutely. We'll go all in
fair
for
enough.
sure.
All right, thank you, man.